Flying High and Its Dangers. The story of Daedalus and Icarus. In this myth, we learn about Daedalus and Icarus, the legendary father-son team who first tested human flight with the homemade wings. Daedalus, the great inventor and caring father, hadn't always been so caring. Or do all heroes have their faults?
Once a man named Daedalus lived in Athens, the Greek city whose protector was Athena, the goddess of wisdom. One day, Daedalus was making a statue of Athena, and the goddess liked it so much she decided to give him special powers. Thanks to her, he became Athens' top inventor and builder. Everyone admired his cleverness at making gadgets and his ability to solve problems that had baffled people for years. Even Aegeus, the king of Athens at the time, counted on Daedalus for advice about new buildings and special projects.
But it wasn't enough for Daedalus to be the greatest inventor in Athens. He wanted to be the only inventor in Athens. He couldn't stand anyone else gaining recognition. The great inventor even became worried that his own nephew, his apprentice, would steal some of his glory.
In Athens, Daedalus' reputation as a wise man and clever inventor was growing. He soaked up praise from others, especially his family members.
Who would have thought it? I hate to admit it after all those fights we had as kids, but my own brother is a genius.
Sister, you look like you ate something that you didn't agree with.
No, brother, it's not my lunch. I'm just remembering that Mother always spoiled you, and then Athena sharpened your brain like a pencil. Some people get all the luck.
Now, don't get upset, just because I'm famous and you're not. My ideas will help our whole city, and if I can ever do you a favor, please let me know.
I was hoping you'd say that. My son, Talos, loves to build things around the house. He built a dog house that is so comfortable the dog refuses to come out. Then he made a mouse trap that's so attractive the mice have been lining up to try it out. Please take him on as your apprentice, teach him something useful, and keep him out of my hair.
I don't really need anyone right now.
He'll work for free. You must need someone to clean up around here. Someone to take out the garbage? Surely Athena didn't give you that talent.
All right. Having a kid like him around will allow me more time for my important work. He can start tomorrow, but he must remember that I'm very busy with very important people, so he needs to stay out of my way.
So Talos, a youth about 12 years old, came to stay with his uncle, Daedalus. At first, he quietly went out about his chores in the inventor's shop. He cleaned up the tools, washed all the dishes, and took out the rubbish.
One day, an Athenian came to the shop to ask Daedalus' help. Talos was sweeping up in the corner.
I need a tool that can cut through wood quickly and neatly. Chopping wood with an axe is too messy and takes too long. Can you help? Maybe if you use a bigger axe or a spear. Let me think about it. Come back in a day or two and I'll have something for you.
When the man left, Talos spoke up.
Uncle, look at this drawing I made. It's a plan for a tool I call a saw. It will cut through wood more easily than an axe.
How does it work?
See these sharp point parts here that look like teeth? They cut right through the wood when you move the teeth back and forth across the wood. I came up with the idea one day when I was camping or emptying the garbage. I saw a fish skeleton and it made me think.
Shh, didn't I tell you not to disturb my thinking? Give me that silly drawing and go back to your chores.
But Daedalus didn't throw away the silly drawing. He used Talos' idea to make a saw out of metal. Then he brought it to the carpenter.
How did you think of this saw, as you call it? You really are clever. Oh, it just came to me one night while I was taking out the garbage.
Daedalus took all the credit, but Talos wasn't discouraged. He felt that someday his uncle would recognize his talent.
Look at what I've made, Uncle. I call it a compass. You can use it to draw perfect diagrams and to measure things exactly.
Give me that and stop fooling around. You've got work to do. Man, I've really got to do something about this boy before I become the second best inventor in Athens.
That night, Daedalus couldn't sleep. He was so angry and jealous. Finally, he thought up a plan that made him feel better. He jumped out of bed and rushed over to Talos's room.
Talos, I was too harsh with you today. Forgive me. Come with me now, though. I'd like you to help me on a project right now. It's very, very important. On the top of Athena's temple. I could use your advice.
Wow, that would be great. But way up there, right now in the middle of the night, when it's so dark?
This should not take long.
When they got up to the roof of the temple, Daedalus carried out his evil plot.
I've been asked to build a statue for that side of the tower. Lean over the edge and tell me if you think it's possible.
Well, it sure looks dangerous, but if you say so.
As Talos leaned over, Daedalus gave him a swift push, which sent the youth hurtling toward the paving stones. But before he hit the ground, he quickly flapped his arms and miraculously began to move skyward.
You see, Athena had watched the plot unfold and stepped in. In a flash, she turned Talos into a bird, a partridge, to be exact, and so spared his life. Then she had a few words with her former favorite.
You are a very sick man, Daedalus. I am tempted to take back all the power I've given you, but I won't. Instead, I'm going to banish you from Athenians. You must wander through the world, praying that someone will take you in. Fate will have other punishments in store for you.
Daedalus wandered about, sailing from country to country, until he came to the island of Crete, where the evil king, Minos, was looking for a great inventor. Daedalus was hired on the spot, and he soon settled down, married, and had a son. The boy's name was Icarus, and Daedalus loved him very, very much.
Now, after years of working for Minos, Daedalus was given the job of designing the labyrinth that would house Minos' pet, the Minotaur. For those of you don't know, the labyrinth is a maze of the Minotaur was a powerful creature that was killed by an Athenian named Theseus in the story before this one. But when Theseus escaped from the labyrinth, taking Minos' daughter, Ariadne with him, someone was going to have to take the heat from Minos. That person was Daedalus.
Gods, bring me the inventor to me.
The palace guards brought in Daedalus, his hands bound behind him. A few steps behind the inventor, also bound, stood his son, Icarus.
What should I do with you? Theseus killed the Minotaur and escaped from the labyrinth. Only you could have helped him do that. To make matters worse, he's run off with my dear Ariadne.
Should we execute them now, Your Highness?
No, I just thought of a fit punishment. Take the inventor and his son to the center of the maze and leave him there, without food or water. We'll let the inventor be trapped by his own invention.
Daedalus' face became a mask of terror. When he had made the labyrinth, he got lost in the maze unless he had his master plans with him.
I have one request, Your Highness, for my son. He is afraid of the dark. Can we please have a supply of candles to take with us, so at least his last hours will be a little less frightening? Very well, have your candles. That way you'll be able to see each other starve.
Daedalus and Icarus were blindfolded, brought to the center of the maze, and set free. The guards retraced their steps, keeping the inventor and his son in their place by threatening them with arrows and spears.
Father, what will we do? I'm already hungry. Must think of some way out of this.
I'm thinking as fast as I can, son. But even if we do escape from the maze, Minos' army will catch us. If we make it to the sea, the king's navy will capture our ship before you're a mile from shore.
Daedalus stayed awake all that night. He had just about given up hope when the chirping of birds signaled that the sun was about to rise.
You would have to be a bird to escape from Minos. That's it. Wake up, my son. We've got work to do.
What, Father? Have you gone crazy?